We are back, Season 4 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs podcast. I'm Chris, and along with me are two other hosts and a producer. For those of you who are new to the podcast, we like to showcase breweries, their beers, and conclude every episode with a thematic-ish conversation. If you're a casual listener or a seasoned vet, you know what to expect. Producers continue to change throughout episodes, but the same old connoisseurs will continue to provide top-tier content every single episode. Please feel free to listen to all of our previous episodes and producer specials to get an insight into all the breweries and beers that we've mostly enjoyed. And whether you're new or returning, we're pleased to be your favorite craft beer podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now for today's episode. Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Chris.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Brett. And along today, I'm confused. Is it Pat, Patrick, or Patrice?
Or Patty?
Oh, Patrice. I like
Patty, yes.
Patty?
Yes.
I believe he prefers Pat.
All right, Patrice.
Just short for me. Okay.
We've done this one before.
Yes, that was me.
All right. Well, along with Pat, in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing IX Poets, which is a contract brewery. I think the first contract brewery that we've done.
That is still a contract brewery at this point.
Yes.
Right. Yes, because Something in the Water was a contract brewery, and then they had their own location.
Peel Street was another contract brewery that now has their location, etc.
So maybe there'll be a trend here, and IX Poets might follow up.
There you go.
So we're having two beers, much like we do. We'll get into maybe some of the uniqueness of this episode a little bit later on. But the first one is Buzzer Beater, which is a Pilsner. And the second is their Hazy Mariner, which is a hazy pale ale.
And to finish up the episode, we're going to discuss our Valentine's Day traditions.
Ooh.
All right. So we're going to take everyone back with a little, little backstory here. 40 years ago, we're going all the way back 40 years ago.
Can we go all the way back 40 years ago?
Well, we're going to talk about something that happened 40 years ago.
How about in the past tense?
Yeah.
This happened.
Yes, it did happen. There were two families, okay? They moved into homes that were 4 doors apart on Cool Ridge Drive. A friendship was immediately born between the 5-year-old boys in those two homes. The neighborhood streets, 9 of them named after famed historic poets, would see the boys grow up closer over the years.
Now, after spending countless hours playing road hockey and tennis. Yes. I played a lot of road hockey myself, not the tennis.
Yeah, I didn't really play
Or like
any
mini
tennis.
sticks. I wonder if it was mini sticks.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good time. No, everyone did it, right?
You can play road hockey any time of the year. I don't even know if you need to bring it inside.
No,
True.
you don't.
Well, I believe inside it's called ball hockey. Anyway.
I was talking about the mini sticks.
Well, fair enough. You can play that in any weather or indoors, outdoors, etc. And they attended everything from swimming lessons to birthday parties. The boys grew up and moved away. So sad.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So, fate would actually bring these guys back together, though.
Oh, not sad anymore.
Not sad.
Happy.
The clouds came in, the sun came out. And so the Coleridge Drive would become the inspiration of the IX Poets for their first ever beer, which was and is the Hazy Mariner. So this maiden voyage for IX Poets drew its name from Samuel Coleridge's most famous poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
I can confirm I have not read that poem.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
We should have put it on here.
Yeah.
We should have read it out.
Remember the time you read In Flanders Fields? You could just read the poem.
We could have each took a little stanza there.
Well, yeah, a little bit. Who knows how long it is?
It could be a haiku.
Yeah. It's like, all right, that's the end.
Still not short enough for 5 to read, though. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this contract brewery then. I guess interesting is, has anybody been?
Well, I was just going to say, obviously, oftentimes we talk about what the brewery looks like and if we've been there and that sort of thing. Obviously, can't do that.
We can't.
There's nowhere to go. But they do actually brew out of a brewery that we've featured before, Paris Beer Company in Paris, Ontario. And Brett and Tyler, I believe you guys took a little trip to Paris one day and met up with Mike.
Yeah.
How did a little detour?
Yeah, so I was a couple weeks ago, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and people would have seen it on our social media.
Yeah, it was that day. Let's just say, was that day that you saw myself and Tyler be at Paris? That was the day we picked up the beers.
Right. Yeah.
Great job, Brett. So it was good. It was good. We went there and we met up. You want to talk a little bit about that, Brett?
So the funny part before on the drive, Tyler won the award of driving that day, and on the drive, he thought it was 4 poets. He was getting his Roman numerals really mixed up.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Which this doesn't happen very often.
Yeah,
But
so
Tyler Sager was confused.
yeah. Well, the thing was I didn't look at any of their information, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything. So I was like, I don't know if it's 4 or if it's 9. So we went through
Right.
it. But then I was also thinking about the neighborhood too, and trying to figure out what geographic area that was that there would have been the 9 poet names. And I think it is still a bit spread out. I don't think it's street off street off street.
No.
I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think so because that
This
was
is Pat's job to pull up the map. Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever, Waze, whatever one you want.
whatever you got. But yeah, so I didn't know if it was 4 or 9, and then we had that discussion, and Brett was going back and forth. So we
figured it out.
We had it all
figured it
sorted out before we got there.
A number of poets.
Yes, this is correct. So we get there. Mike was a little bit earlier than this. I think he said he was going to be there around 12:30, and we said, due to me kind of, being behind, that we were going to be there at 1.
Yeah.
So he had to quickly get on the run, but Tyler and him met up outside.
Well, yeah.
And there was an exchange of beers.
there was an exchange of beers.
like people do in a parking lot.
Yeah,
Exchange
naturally.
beers.
Especially a parking lot of a brewery.
Yes. So what did I do during this time?
What
I
did
don't
you
know.
do?
What did you do?
Well-
Probably what you do best.
Which is what?
Go to the washroom.
I do that very well, actually.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There you
But no, I decided to look at the Paris Beer Co. Menu and order myself a flight.
Yeah.
And I
Did you
didn't-
order one in advance for Tyler?
Well, I didn't want to.
No.
I didn't want to speak for him.
No,
I wasn't
and this
like,
guy's got-
should I
this
get
guy-
him a flight and then kind of just pick for him? No,
That would've been
He's his own
cute.
person.
It would've
He
been-
can figure it out.
Listen, it would have been the perfect Valentine's early day gift.
Yeah, it's
true, it's
You
true.
could have done that, and you have my Untapped, so you know what I've drank.
This is accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But I
could've-
don't
could've
know
did
what I don't know what you like. Sometimes
Oh,
I think out of the 4, we got one that was the same. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So-
and in all fairness, I mean, it doesn't matter what we like.
They had a good selection. It was fine.
We try everything.
Yeah, we try it
anyways.
all. Yeah.
But yeah,
Let's go ahead.
yeah. So I was just gonna say. So while you're consuming some beverages, I met out there with Mike, and we did the exchange. Conversation was short because he had to get going. I don't want to say he was blaming his wife, but he was blaming his wife. I actually thought I was talking to Brett for
Yeah,
a
I
bit.
was going to say, that's a Brett move.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day yesterday. But yeah, so he was blaming his wife that he had to get going, which was fine. But I almost feel like I did a disservice to you guys having this conversation because Mike was really actually interested in the podcast and how he became, the podcast and the backstory to us. And I'm like, telling him all about that. I'm like, oh, wait a second here. I should be asking you questions about what the aspirations look like.
I don't know if you know this, but sometimes when Tyler gets on a tangent, he goes
He
for a little
goes
bit.
and goes.
I
yeah.
go on a tangent. I go for a little bit. Chris, you kind of just stop it at a certain point.
The difference
I know
is
my tangent levels.
The difference is my tangent is at least on the right path.
Right. At least it was related.
I'm sticking
Yes.
to the same topic. So we had this conversation, which was good. We got in the conversation about Buzzer Beater, and I don't know, maybe I could tell when we're having the beer, maybe.
I
Yeah,
think
let's
that's
do that.
probably a good
Yeah, that's
idea.
fair.
Yeah, so let's do that. But I ultimately asked, like, what's the goal here? Like, what's the 5-year look like, right? Because they only have 2 beers.
They only have 2, and we're having both of them.
It's true. That's going to be 100% of the beers they've made.
Yeah.
Which is
We're
the
gonna have
first
today.
which is the first time on Craft Beer Connoisseurs podcast that we're going to have all the beers, which is exciting.
Very.
That is true.
But
and also exciting.
I said, what's a 5-year outlook look like here? Like, what are we talking? Ultimately, the goal is always to open up a brewery. That's kind of what they wanted to do. But time, money doesn't really kind of allow that sometimes.
For sure.
So we'll see where it kind of goes. I think they've got a decent kind of foundation, something to build off of. These 2 beers are a little bit kind of opposite of what I would see as their like main kind of logo or their like what their image is.
Yeah. People will
Their
see
identity?
that with our photos on Instagram of the cans. Yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of, getting a foothold of what their identity is going to look like, I think is going to be kind of the next step and just be really important to them. So,
Well, and it must be pretty difficult for them being a contract brewery, brewing out of Paris. Obviously, Paris is going to prioritize their beers to brew first, and you kind of get second dibs of when you're going to be brewing. So obviously, to have your own location, you have your own brew schedule.
Yeah,
it makes it a lot easier.
It's one of those things you're probably brewing at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday morning.
Yep.
You just get the schedule when you can sneak it in, right?
and so that's what we talked about that in the brief conversation, was just like you're beholden to where you're brewing.
Yep.
But yet you still have to meet your targets because you have beers in the LCBO, in the LCBO, whatever that looks like. So because of that, you still have to meet a quota for them. So yeah, your brewing schedule is all over the place. I am interested to see what that looks like because Mike has said that he has made some really good beers that we've had from other breweries, not necessarily here in Ontario, but he's made some very similar ones. And if he got close to that, like I'd say that's a pretty good achievement to, especially some of them that he was rhyming off. So
Yes, indeed. So you just mentioned about the LCBOs. We're going to skip over the part in terms of beers on tap because they have 2 beers. We'll skip over that part.
Yep.
But in terms of where to find the Hazy Mariner, because that's the beer in the LCBOs, you can also find it in restaurants in Kitchener-Waterloo and Toronto, along with grocery stores like Loblaws, Fortino's, Freshco, and Sobeys across Ontario.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
No hours, guys, because they have no physical location.
Or they're available online 24/7.
Or they're not because
I meant to follow them on Instagram and their messages.
Yeah, definitely. But they also don't deliver because you can get them at, I think, probably almost every LCBO. Like I see them all the time. Yeah. And actually, I haven't had either of their 2 beers, so this will be my first one. But Hazy Mariner is one of those ones where I was like, I feel like I've had this because I see it all the time, but nope.
Never reached that hand, right or left, doesn't matter, to grab it and put it in the cart.
No, never, apparently.
Well, you were just waiting for today.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
I just knew that we would have them
this
on.
opportunity to be coming.
Yeah.
Right. Well, should we do that?
Yeah.
Should we get onto the beers?
Yeah, but first, we as always, we're going to link to their information on our social media. All right, so a big thank you. We already mentioned Mike, but also another thank you to Melissa, Scott, and again Mike at IX Poets.
I'm almost starting to think that we're going to have 100% of their beers.
Yeah.
I think we almost got 100% of their staff.
That's good call.
I think so.
I don't know. There might be a fourth.
There could be. We have not interacted with that person, though, if there is a fourth.
If there is.
So, yes, of course, they provided the beers on today's episode. Definitely a team effort by them. And so the first beer we're going to have today is actually their buzzer beater, which is a pilsner. Comes in at 5.5% ABV and 25 IBUs.
Yes. So this beer supposedly is crisp and subtle biscuit notes, mild carbonation with a dry, refreshing finish.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about the can art here first and then actually read what's on the can. So this beer features Jack Armstrong. Anybody know who Jack Armstrong is?
The guy who made Armstrong cheese.
No, his last name's Armstrong. But he is the Toronto Raptors' longtime color commentator.
Get that garbage out of here.
Hello! On the can. So it's good. It actually gives a no offense to producer Pat here, but a way better description of the beer and why Jack Armstrong is on itself.
Yeah.
So it is a clear, crisp pilsner in a classic Czech style and uses only Ontario-grown hops. This is Tyler's favorite word, quaffable. Pils will go to your beer.
I do like a good
be your
quaffable
go-to beer for watching the game or just relaxing on the patio. We're very proud to be teammates on this beer with the voice of basketball in Canada for the last 25 years and fellow craft beer lover, Jack Armstrong.
Yeah.
Now,
We should have him on the podcast.
we should, right?
Yeah.
Let's
We should
start with hello.
try to get him on.
Yeah. So Jack is a modern-day poet. And obviously, if you listen to any of the Raptors games, he does come up with some good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe his singing voice, not so much, but that's all right.
No.
But he tries.
He does try.
That's why he'd fit on this podcast.
That's fair.
Every Christmas time, he's singing "Happy Holidays."
Yeah.
Oh, every time.
I believe he has like a because he's very Irish. He's like a St. Patrick's Day album or something like that.
Really?
Pretty sure you can find it on Spotify. Anyway, so he's a modern day poet, so is a natural fit for the Nine Poets team. His iconic voice is universally recognizable. Or his catchphrases, hello, get that garbage out of here, and bonjour. I didn't realize he was French, but there you go.
That's with the Chris Boucher when he has a block show. Be like, bonjour.
I wouldn't know. He hasn't played that much this year.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, we think that just like his color commentary, any occasion will be elevated by adding this buzzer beater pilsner to the experience. We hope that you enjoy this clear, crisp, subtle biscuit notes and mild carbonation with a dry, refreshing finish as much as we do.
There you go.
I'm done reading now.
Great job. Great job. But did you talk about really the can art at all?
No, I mean, it is literally Jack Armstrong's face with a mic in front of it with a basketball that says Pilsner, not Spalding on it.
Oh,
going into
good
the net.
pickup.
Yeah, see? Huh? Not just another pretty face here, Chris.
You're still talking
Not
about
that
Jack
either.
You're still talking about Jack Armstrong, right? No, this is good can art. I mean, nice high quality image on there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have like the super fan in the back.
Oh, like Nav Bad, yeah.
Yeah, just chilling in the back.
He's in their third beer.
It might be.
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna say,
Available at all Hyundais in the GTA.
Yeah.
maybe he's not a craft beer lover, so
Maybe
never
not.
know.
You're right.
Darn shame.
All right. Well, as always on Untapped, you can follow us at Craft Beer Connoisseurs and on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons. The overall rating for this buzzer beater is 3.90 out of 5 with only 7 check-ins. None of those have been 5 out of 5s, and none of our friends have had this beer, so we're the first of our friends.
Look at us.
Which is a darn shame because we know that Mike is on Untapped.
Yes.
He's not our friend.
No, and he has checked this in.
Yep.
Well,
That's fine. We get it.
heard of that for 35 seconds ago, it's Untapped. You can follow us at Craft Beer Connoisseur.
Yeah.
We
no,
get it.
at Craft Beer Cons.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Instagram. Craft Beer
Okay.
Connoisseur. Oh, my
Okay.
You guys got this.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a darn shame. But I mean, love wasn't there yesterday, and I guess love is all lost. So, you guys want to drink this?
Yeah, I want to taste
Absolutely.
it.
Oh, too bad. You're gonna have to smell it once we open it first and talk about its
you
color.
would.
So grab your can and grab your glass and let's open her up. See, that's got to be on a can someday.
No.
You know, just
Jack
like
Armstrong loves that sound, yeah.
You know, Jack Armstrong would love a let's open it up. Maybe that's why he's got to yell out one of these times after a 3.
I mean, he could also have Matt Devlin do it.
that's true.
Yeah,
Right?
you could.
I mean, I do think it is a disservice, and I understand the whole thing. But Jack Armstrong greater than Alvin Williams. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, they're also on different networks. Though.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to say, as in terms of the 41 games that TSN does and the 41 games that Sportsnet do,
Yeah.
I end up watching more on the TSN ones because I like Jack Armstrong's commentary.
Yeah, me too.
Matt Devlin, decent, just not at baseball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh no, not good at baseball.
Yeah, tough times. Tough
Yes.
times.
He's used to talking a lot,
Fair,
which does not necessarily lend itself well.
Sometimes you
to,
got to let
to
the sounds
baseball.
of the game come to you.
Yeah. Well, we are drinking this beer out of a pint glass today, so as always, make sure to use your proper glassware.
Wow, so beautiful. Brett, what are you smelling? What are you seeing, buddy?
It definitely smells like a Czech Pilsner for sure. It's definitely got that, it's already have that bitterness, earthiness to it in terms of the nose. I'm not saying my nostrils are firing on all cylinders today, but that's what I'm getting so far.
You know
don't
what? Every episode we get something that's not firing all cylinders, but today for you it's the nostrils.
What are you guys getting?
Your reading was great though. Look at
Yeah,
that.
hey.
Yeah, that was really good.
I can read, not smell.
Yeah, today. Yeah, I'm getting that the biscuity. I'm getting some bready notes on
Yeah,
it.
bready notes. Like you mentioned, the biscuit, not overpowering. It's a little subtle, and this is maybe a little bit. I mean, I guess it's the right color for a Czech Pilsner. It's kind of like a copper, a little lighter than copper.
Yes. A light copper.
But still pretty translucent.
Yeah, nice. It's clear.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we can see through it. There's some good carbonation in it. I'm interested to see what this looks like on the palate for sure.
And all three of us poured with some pretty decent head, which has gone away pretty quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
A little bit of fluffy top, but yes, we should. Fife. Yes, we
should taste it, right?
Do you want to taste it?
Yes. Jack Armstrong would tell me to taste this beer, so I'm going to.
You would. All right.
You go ahead.
Yeah.
You taste it. Tell us what you think about it. See,
You got to fill the time there, Chris.
we'll see if his taste buds are firing.
That's
on
usually
all
where they cut
cylinders.
away to like Kia Nurse and
Right.
Over to somebody else's spot.
over to somebody else.
Someone else say something interesting.
Pretty much. So I'm going to tell you something interesting. This beer, actually, very good for a Czech Pils to start off. It is crisp. It's clean. It does have that biscuity note. A little bit bitter, which is expected. But yeah, I'm happy with it so far.
Yeah, Chris, you want to add?
Yeah, it's definitely crisp, which you would expect from a pilsner. I'm getting again that bready, biscuity note is coming through as well on the taste, like it was on the nose. Lots of carbonation, which is nice. Definitely, they mentioned quaffable. I could definitely quaff a couple of these.
Are you?
I don't know a true definition of quaffable.
I don't know if that's the right use of the term. But
Quaffable is the smell.
no, quaffable is like crushable.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Producer Pat's on it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but you break the tie.
I think to quaff something is to smell the beer. It's got to be a good smelling beer.
Well,
Oh,
Pat's
and it's coming here.
typing here.
It means drinkable, easy and enjoyable to drink, suitable for being quaffed, used especially of wine that is simple and pleasant to drink. So is this beer simple and pleasant to drink?
I don't know.
Hello.
What am I thinking then? It's not just wafting it. There's something else.
I think you're thinking of wafting.
I'm not thinking
Yes.
of waft. There's a scientific term for it too. I swear.
I'm pretty sure it's called wafting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
think you're outnumbered
Wafting. I think is a layman's
Pretty sure you're
term.
outnumbered on this one.
I think wafting is a layman's term. I'm going to find something. You just wait.
If anybody's going to find something, it will be you.
We'll find
Yeah.
something from like I don't know, early Germanic times or something that will lend itself to my
There's
argument.
probably a poem on it.
Probably.
Oh, probably. Well, what are you getting out of it, Tyler?
Yeah, I think it's very quaffable. I just think it's pretty quaffable beer. Right? Like rad.
For sure.
Yeah, like no cap.
No.
Serves up.
Yeah. Biscuity. I'm getting kind of like straw-like too with it. Crispy.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I think you guys have described it pretty good. I am getting the dryness on the back end too. So like I am getting that kind of like the dry piece.
Yeah, kind of brings you back for more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really have too many complaints with this. This is easy drinking, a nice beer. And I wonder, with them brewing at Paris, and a Czech Pilsner would be something. And I think we had a Czech Pilsner
Yes,
from
I'm pretty
Paris
sure.
when we did
Yeah.
their episode.
Yes.
I wonder if they got any kind of brewing tips or anything like that from Paris on doing a Czech Pilsner.
Okay. The one thing, like as I've mentioned before, Czech Pilsners, there's a couple in my mind that I'm thinking that it's good going down, and all of a sudden that bitter aftertaste just kind of sets you off.
Yeah.
This one has the aftertaste that makes you, again, as you said, wanting to come back for more and more
Yeah.
and more.
Yeah.
Right?
I've also seen some Czech Pilsners that are a lot darker than this. And that maltiness is a lot more upfront. So this one, I think this is well done. This is kind of like a dialed down version of a Czech Pilsner, maybe, without so much maltiness.
Kind of leaning in terms of that easier, lighter drinking kind of aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a good way of kind of explaining it, and I think it makes it like really approachable,
Oh, for sure.
which may or may not be Jack Armstrong.
Oh, he seems pretty approachable.
You think so?
Seems like a nice guy.
I mean, he's really loud at all
Likes
his
his, like,
pitch things.
hey, likes his beer.
It's craft beer.
Knows him at.
It's craft
Like
beer.
that, yeah.
Oh, he also the MGD, right? When they used
yeah.
to sponsor it. MGD!
It's true. Top 5 flavor profiles. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Excellent. So the top 5 are actually the top 2.
Okay.
We've got number 1, biscuity.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that for sure.
Number 2, light bodied.
Yeah, it is light. Maybe I'll throw out a couple there that I would say. I would go, like I said, easy drinking, carbonated,
Bready.
yeah, quaffable.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody's got to be clean, crisp is also what I'd
Yeah,
throw in there
that's
as well.
good, yeah.
Very good.
And Pat agrees with you with the crisp.
Yeah,
Of course he
good job.
does.
Yeah.
Pat always agrees with me. It's,
I don't
he's
know about always.
I'm the reason he's here.
Wow.
Let's be serious.
Okay.
Came to see Brett.
Yeah, a big break guy.
If it wasn't for me, why would he be here? Right? Anyway,
For the beers.
Yeah.
dang it. Okay. So on tap user thoughts on this. There's not many people who have checked this in. So, Chris, you might as well give us one on the reviews, eh?
Yes,
Chris,
I will.
why don't you give us a review, Chris?
I will give you one from another Chris.
No way.
Yeah, Chris B. Handle is Chris Bud, or Buddy, I guess.
Yeah, I think Buddy.
Yeah.
Both buddy.
On December 19th, 2023 said, to one of my favorite regulars, cheers, Jack. Only available in Ontario. And Chris is from Lewiston, New York, so he's basically making a PSA for all his New York friends.
Yes.
You can only get this in Ontario. But Chris did not give it a rating.
Wow.
And, just so you know, Jack Armstrong actually resides in Lewiston.
Oh, that's
York.
right.
Yes.
And I have been to Lewiston.
I have also been to Lewiston.
Had a brisket there once.
Yeah. I have driven through it.
They got a bottle shop there. I went there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Good
A
for you.
decent brisket.
Don't know anything about a brisket.
I'm telling you about the
Bottle
brisket.
shop. Next time, Tyler and I are going to go to Lewiston instead of Paris, and we're going to get some brisket and go to a bottle shop.
Brisket and brews.
All right.
I can feel like that is a brew pub that's coming up right now.
There it is. There are no other reviews with this one, so let's just jump right into ours. Brett, you take it away, bud.
I think this is, I know we've overused the term quaffable, but it's actually a smooth, easy drinking Chick Bills. I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, that's a good call. I am going to give it a 4 as well. Yeah, 4.
Okay.
Sorry, just
old
mid,
sippy poo poo over there.
mid sip there. I was going to go 3.75, but I think you guys convinced me. I'm going to go
We
up
did
to
such
a 4.
such a great job of doing that.
Yeah. You,
Whew, twisted your arm.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I didn't want to be left out. But you know who did? Pat.
Pat.
Didn't mind being left out. Gave it a 3.
Oh,
You know, a
okay.
little bench warmer over there. Just
So overall, that gives us a score, no rounding needed, of 3.75.
see it all worked out. You got a 3.75 at the end of the day, right?
There you go. I like it.
All right. So we should probably swim upstream to beer number 2. So the second beer we're going to have is the Hazy Mariner. And apparently the beer is not from Seattle.
You know what? I knew that was coming.
Yeah, no. It does say
So
water
predictable.
everywhere, though. Hopefully not. Anyway, let's say Hazy Pale Ale. It comes in at 5.3% ABV and 35 IBUs.
Very nice. So this is a New England style IPA. They're often described as hazy and juicy. Hazy due to the high protein malts that are used, as well as the yeast, like their English house yeast, that do not flocculate, as well as the standard American ale yeast. So we got 2 types of yeast in here, fellers.
We got quaffable and flocculate today.
Yeah.
Big English words.
Flocculate is an interesting word. So the Hazy Mariner, again, this is their description, showcases a hint of grapefruit, decent floral and fresh, juicy, fruity hop flavors and aromas. A refreshing hop-driven pale ale with moderate bitterness and low malt flavors, preserving this easy drinkable pale ale. A deceptively soft, smooth, creamy mouthfeel gives way to a crisp, dry finish.
Back to the dry finish, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into it, let's take a look here at some untapped statistics. There are 3,077 check-ins, so a little bit more than the last one.
A little bit.
I would say a couple.
Yep.
Usually we like do the other one first, like this one first, but
Yeah.
producer Pat just saying,
Patty cake.
not a baker's man.
No. With 2 yeast, he could be though. 3,077 check-ins with an overall rating of 3.67. There are 38 5 out of 5s, and unlike the last one, we have 68 of our friends have had this.
Yeah, that sounds more normal, right?
More
Hey,
normal.
more normal.
More normal. All right, grab that can. Oh yeah.
Yes, it is grabbed.
All right, grab that glass.
Grabbed.
Let's open her up. Oh, very nice. Very
Opened up.
nice. Oh, wow. Check,
Now,
check, and check.
Just gonna say, if you look at the can art, it looks like the.
You're going to get to the can art first before
Yes,
you
I
get to
am.
the glassware?
Already, eh?
I am.
What about the glassware?
Well, I mean, yes.
No, like, slow down. We got
I'm
to
gonna
order
get there
operations.
because they tie in with the exact same thing.
Well, let Chris give you a bit of a lead in here. Let him take you to
know
the
what,
boat launch.
Chris, take the lead.
All right, so we're drinking this out of a pint glass again because this is a pale ale, but not just any pint glass. We are drinking this out of a Hazy Mariner branded pint glass. So thanks again, Mike, for that.
These are pretty exclusive. You can't get them everywhere. Just gonna say that.
Just from Mike's car.
You got to meet a guy in a dark alley.
Or in a parking lot in Paris. I mean, stranger things have happened in a parking lot in Paris, I'm pretty sure.
Oof. Brett, what were you going to tie in
So
there?
I was going to say that the let's say the Mariner, if you will,
I will, yes.
looks a little hazy. Looks like he might have had a couple pale ales into him.
The seaman there?
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll go with the seaman, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a couple.
looks
Don't know
like-
if he should be operating the boat.
He's the captain of that ship for sure.
Absolutely.
He's got a pretty big bird too.
Yeah, big bird.
Big seagull.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm the captain now.
I didn't realize you were a bird connoisseur, but there you go.
Yeah, seagull's not really connoisseur. They're everywhere.
You sure do know your birds. The common seagull. Really, three for all.
Have you ever been to the beach?
Look at me. Look at me.
I actually will be one very, very soon.
No, like in Ontario.
I will actually be one very, very soon. Just maybe in a couple months.
Yeah.
That's not very, very soon.
You just came back for one.
That's true.
Yeah, must be nice, you old
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
bagger. All right. Well, you've talked about the can art sufficiently well, I suppose.
Should we talk about what
Better
we
than
see?
most. Better than most.
Yes, let's talk about what we see. Chris, what do you see?
Well, I see a hazy beer here. This is definitely very hazy. Cannot see through it, unlike the buzzer beater. Really nice color to it, actually. But again, poured it with a decent amount of head, which has gone away pretty quickly.
We've been just pouring with the vigorous. tonight.
Vigorously.
A vigorous pour.
Yes, that's what producer Pat told us to do. Is
He
just
did.
pour hard.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Pat likes to pour.
Yeah. If you picking up anything different, pretty much the same. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar to what Chris has said. Nothing too much that's kind of standing out for me yet. Obviously, haven't tasted it yet, but we shall see. Again, nostrils not firing at 100%. There's Chris again.
Chris is just, his hands are flying all over the place. He almost dropped the beer with his
Oh,
one
no, I
quart.
didn't.
Nah, you're doing a little Tony Hawk, little ollie on the
On the
on the
cord.
cord itself. I was like, he's gonna 50-50 this, and it's gonna go terribly.
I would have liked to see a 920 instead.
But yeah, all right. So I think you guys got it down pat on the visual and
I see what you did there too. Huh, Pat?
Oh, Pat likes that, yeah.
Yeah, now he's just slapping himself. I don't know if that's the patty cake
I was
business.
going to say yes.
Let's drink it, boys.
All right.
All right, you both can get in it. I'll fill some time here with a little sea shanty.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, never mind. You guys already done your sips. I was this close to putting it out there, but
Well, it wasn't shotgunning it.
no, it's a sip.
We should have that though. We should do that one time where we just do like shotgun beer.
Not a craft beer.
No.
It have to be a very light lager.
12% stout for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That'll go down
Imperial
real
stout.
smooth.
She'll go down, but she'll also come right back.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll start this off. I'm getting a lot of citrus on this. They mentioned grapefruit, but it's not necessarily the grapefruit that's coming through. But definitely a lot of citrus hits me right away.
Yeah.
And then followed by some bitterness.
No, I definitely agree. It's I can't exactly. Maybe it's some stone fruit, perhaps. It's kind of
Okay,
what
yeah.
I'm getting a little bit, but it is definitely that citrus, hazy, juice bombish kind of atmosphere that is hitting my tongue currently and going down my esophagus. Tyler,
Wow, that was descriptive.
That was something I wish I could have done without. Yeah, so kind of we talked about this beer a little bit, and with different iterations, kind of being more West Coasty into this East kind of New England style. So yeah, I think kind of moving away from the pininess into the citrus kind of area. I like what it has. There were notes of floral that were also supposed to be mentioned, and there goes your can, but nothing's in it this time. That a boy.
Yeah, it's empty.
Yeah, you took it down the old half.
It's all in my glass.
That's where it should be.
Yeah.
For now.
Yes. And then it should be all down your esophagus.
Yes, I've heard.
But yeah, no. Yeah, good beer. I do get some of that citrus feeling to it for sure.
Yeah, and I'm not getting as much dryness on this one as I was on the buzzer beater, even though they mentioned dry for this beer.
Yeah, I get that.
Pat is patting his hands together.
Okay.
Big fan of the beer.
I think it's a clap.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
big fan.
Yeah,
Well, patting his hands together is a clap. That is correct.
they do call that a clap.
Yes, that is correct. So he's big fan. I like to
right.
see it.
Yeah.
I like to see it.
You want to do the 5 flavor profiles?
Well, you know what? That's what Pat is telling me to do. So why not? Number 1, hazy.
Yeah, she's hazy.
Yeah. Chris?
Yes, definitely. I mean, not necessarily a flavor, but it is a hazy beer. Yes.
Number 2, citrusy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the first thing I mentioned. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
that would be my number 1.
So I'm good. Not a big
Yeah.
deal, but I'm pretty good at what I do.
I didn't see this before, so
It's almost like you've taken a course before and take the course.
yeah. Pat didn't give me the sneak peek, but I would put that as my number
Yeah,
one.
pretty mid, bro.
Yeah.
Pretty mid.
Number 3, juicy.
Yes, it is juicy.
Yeah, she's got some juice to her.
Okay. Number 4, floral.
Now that I'm hearing it, like I understand that, but I
mean,
wouldn't.
I said it before.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
But now you're hearing
I'm hearing it from like more than just you because it's like 3,000 check-ins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's not necessarily something I would have thought of on my own without hearing it. But now that I hear it, I'm like, yeah. Now they hear it again.
Thanks.
you're-
Yeah, I do pick up some of the floral again. The juicy comes through, and then kind of a floral as it finishes out.
Okay. Number 5, dank.
There's some dankness to it.
Yeah, I've had danker.
Yeah.
I didn't have that on my bingo card today. The one thing I will probably put in here, producer Pat's kind of agreeing with me, is smooth. The mouthfeel, the typical ones that kind of soft even.
Yeah, soft.
it's
Low mouth coating, maybe?
Because it does have like a soft finish.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've maybe taken a sip and it's just like, it just finishes nice and
Softly?
soft and smooth.
Pillowy.
Right?
Yeah, pillowy's a good one.
Pillowy. Look at that.
Yeah, Pat's been agreeing with you a lot
Yeah.
today.
That's why he's here. I told you.
I know. He's here for you. All right. So there are more people that have had this beer on tap before. So why don't we see what a couple of them think? Tyler, you're up first.
All right, I got the first one, and their name and their handle are the same, and it is G Rant. On December 2nd, 2023, said the following. Sounds like me in Seattle. Good, but probably better, fresher than 623.
I think is what he's saying here is that it would have been, if he would have had it sooner, might have been better.
Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
3.75 out of 5. Brett, you got the second one here.
I've never been to Seattle. I do plan on changing that come August, but yeah, maybe I'll be hazy there. Who knows? So the next one comes from Gabe, and the handle is GBZ. Okay. On February 21st, 2023. I'm trying to decipher this review. I don't know if we're going to have to put an E beside this episode. Am I allowed to swear in this one or no?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's why there's asterisks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Try
I did
your
it.
best.
Yeah, I did it. King did it. After digying this beer, I don't know if that's an actual word.
I think
Dodging?
it's supposed to be dodging.
Yeah.
Dodging. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So after dodging this beer in both real and bullet time, our paths finally could be diverged no more. Alas, we are one. Better than expected. Had some nice fingering bitterness.
Lingering. Lingering.
Screen so far away. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the reading after you said you couldn't put an E on this thing for explicit, we might have to have that comment there.
Remember when I said that?
Yeah, you can
said
read.
I did a good job reading.
Yeah.
Went out the
Not
window.
so much.
I think you might be a little lazy there, fella, and you're not even in Seattle.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
Gabe
God.
gave it a 3.5
Yes,
out of 5.
That they did.
Oh my goodness gracious! Great balls of fire.
You know, when you put an L and an I together, sometimes the L might,
No, you're
Good try.
Yeah, you're on your own there, fella.
That's just a whiff.
Yeah, that's.
yeah, just like Seattle.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, so I'll start off our ratings. I am going to give this one, for sure, I'm giving it a 3.75.
So I had this one back in 2021. I gave it a 3.5 at the time. I'm going to shoot it a little further up and go with 3.75.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. I am going to come in at a 3.5. And producer Patty Cake is going to give it a 3.5. Also to note, had it in 2021. You guys must have been together. That's why you're here again.
Yeah, probably.
And give it a 3.5 at that time as well. So 3.75 times 2, and then 3.5 times 2 as well. Should give us what, 3.625?
Oh, wow. That's right.
Yeah, well, it should be, because it's really just take a 3.75 and a 3.5 and divide it by 2.
Divide them by 2,
And
yeah.
I think, pretty sure we've had a score like this before. We've had 2 3.75s and 2 3.5s. I don't think you had the math on this. I just recall back to previous episodes and figured it out.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we've done this enough, right? So we kind of know. But
But
yes,
you still round up anyway.
Yes, we will round it up to 3.75.
That concludes the review of 9 Poets and the beers that they provided for today's episode.
And coming up, we're going to spill our hearts out and talk about Valentine's Day. All right, we're back, and we're going to talk about Valentine's Day, guys. I was looking back at our previous episodes, and we've hit kind of like the major holidays, but we haven't hit Valentine's Day.
The
It's not a
majorest
major-
of all holidays.
I was going to say because it's not a major holiday, but okay. Keep
Okay,
going, yeah.
well, we know your thoughts
So,
then.
am I supposed to spill the beans of yesterday?
Yeah, like just you know, like a lot of men maybe we're doing Valentine's Day after Valentine's Day because you forget, and then you say, "Oh, I forgot it was Valentine's Day."
Because some people have like 4 or 5 jobs, right? It's really tough to figure out. Yeah,
Good
They-
reenactment, though.
They might be working till like 8:30 at night.
The role playing was spot on. And
Right.
sometimes you're like, oh no, I forgot. Oh no.
Johnny at work said that it was Valentine's Day. And he's like,
no.
"Oh my god, it was."
So you just listen to Jack Armstrong say, "Hello."
Get that Gavin Johnny.
So we thought we'd just touch on it a little bit. So all 4 of us are married men, right? So we kind of have some experience with Valentine's Day.
I don't think you need to be married to have experience with Valentine's Day. I'm just saying.
I
No,
don't know.
but I mean, hey, okay. Anyways,
I'm still on a rookie contract. If
that right?
if we're talking
Yeah.
Valentine's Days, yeah.
all right. Well, we'll just maybe start with traditions, like if we have any sort of Valentine's traditions, and if it's kind of evolved over the course of your relationship, because sometimes the longer you're together, the less you might put effort into it, maybe. So basically, for myself, I'll go first. The Valentine's nowadays is really just kind of like card from the drugstore and maybe some chocolates. But back in the day at the beginning,
but what do you get your wife?
no, that's what I get her.
Oh.
But back in the day, it used to be a little bit more elaborate, right? Maybe go out for dinner, maybe maybe a bigger present than just a little piece of chocolate. Wow.
Hey, your words.
Couple of 18-year-old boys here.
Hey, good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you.
Who wants to go next?
I don't.
Okay, I'll go next. I'll keep it simple.
Yeah.
Great. Hey, kudos to you. I think that is nice. I think that's really great.
Oh, do you?
I do. The last time that I really kind of celebrated a full-on like Valentine's Day
Was yesterday.
was 2005, I think.
So a couple of years
I'm just
ago.
trying to do the math here.
Yeah.
That would have made you about 16. Okay.
I'm a grandmother. I'm not a big Valentine's Day guy. And the one Valentine's Day that I was actually kind of celebrating with a girlfriend at the time, I ended up in the hospital with some heart thing going on. So I just from then on out, I was like, the whole thing's stupid.
Little Leona Lewis, bleeding love. Good times.
Yeah. So it was like a whole thing. I was like, you know what? I'm not there, and we'll get to some of that a little bit later on. I think you have a follow-up question, but so I don't really do the whole Valentine's Day thing. I think one day is a little bit silly. So
what I normally do for Valentine's Day is I go, if it's between Monday and Friday, I go to work.
Yes, that's
And then
unlike Chris, you give your wife something small.
And then what I'll do is I'll come home. We'll have dinner.
Yeah.
And then put our daughter to bed. And then this is going south real fast. And then probably just go to bed and go to sleep. And then we wake up the next day.
So you guys
it's a normal
So it's
day.
a busy day then.
Yes, it's a busy, normal day.
Yeah, you went to work. So what I'm hearing, do you do like heat ups or do you do like a
fair?
Thank you. Or do you do like a dinner? Like
do you actually make the food?
I don't make the food.
No. Okay. Yeah. Just with confidence, he says that.
Unless, does making a food consider putting something like matzo sticks from the freezer in an air fryer? Because damn right, I am chef.
Chef Boyer
with a kiss.
D. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. What else do you got?
Well, Pat, he exchanges some minor gifts with his wife. Maybe some chocolate hearts from Rio Thompson. Doesn't spend as much now as previously. Might do a special dinner, go out for dinner somewhere. So,
Doesn't have the funds now.
Hopeless romantic.
Yeah, mortgages. Let me tell you.
What else do you got there, sharpshooter?
All right. Any kind of general thoughts on Valentine's Day and I put this in quotes, holiday, because, it's not really a holiday. Like you mentioned, Brett, you go to work, so you don't get the day off. So I guess it's not really a holiday. Personally, I don't necessarily hate it. I don't love it. I think it's nice to kind of have a date where you can kind of at least dedicate to giving some thought to your partner.
It's called your anniversary.
Yeah. Good call.
Okay.
Brett's got you on that.
Hey, Valentine's Day in February, anniversary in October, so I get one every half of the year.
Hey, same there.
Yeah,
I got
so
you.
there you go.
I get you there.
That's good that you get one every half the year.
Yeah. It's like a half Christmas, No.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for
there
you.
There you go. So, I don't think it's something that you need to necessarily go all out for, but I think it's nice to do a little something.
Yeah. So to kind of dovetail off that, right? It's a
right, because I'm a bird connoisseur. Yeah,
you should know that one.
I'm surprised you didn't get that.
Yeah, I know. I know the doves.
Yeah, you got the doves. Anyways, I think it is very gimmicky. I think it is just kind of another lame excuse to do something for commercialization. I don't really see the purpose to it. If you say you love somebody, you usually probably say it maybe twice a day, at least, once in the morning, once at night.
But a third time on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, there you go.
Really treat her something special. She's going to like
That's
it.
the ticket.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop. I'm not overly invested in it. I think it is just kind of silly. But maybe it's because I'm a cold-hearted, emotionless beep, beep.
Yep, that's pretty true. For me, good for Hallmark for making a crap ton of money. And the days leading up to the holiday, quote unquote, because it's not really a holiday. It's just another day that happens in the year for me. Maybe for my wife, it might be something different. But for me, it is February 14th, and the day after is the 15th, which is when this episode is released.
That is true.
So if you're listening to this on release day, happy February 15th.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, Pat, kind of in the same boat as you, Tyler. More of a Hallmark gimmick than a holiday.
Didn't we just call this guy a hopeless romantic?
Yeah. He gave a little bit of contradicting answers there.
Yes.
But
Give us the most amount of gifts, but it's just another day.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think he's playing the system. I think he's got this figured out.
Yeah.
You know, just a little dabble, and, you know, it's commercialization.
right.
You
Yeah.
know.
So what I want to know is, what does he do for Family Day?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out in a few days.
Right?
I guess so.
All right. Well, that's enough Valentine's Day talk, I think. So we'll hit you with our farewells.
All right, that's all for today's episode.
Thank you again for listening. Keep on listening. Every other Thursday as the Craft Beer Connoisseurs release a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
And make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite Seattle Mariner.
Wow, a Valentine's Day special, and he throws that out. I thought we would get something special for the old
We just
wife.
said that nobody celebrates it, for God's sakes.
I love it. So from all of us and producer Pat, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris, and together we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.